Federal government has declared that underage candidates will no longer be permitted to sit for secondary school leaving examinations administered by the West African Examinations Council WAEC and the National Examinations Council NECO. The Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Maman, disclosed this when he appeared on a television interview on Sunday. And he stressed that both the West African Examinations Council WAEC and National Examinations Council NECO must now enforce an 18-year age limit for candidates taking WAEC and SSC exams respectively. Now, the minister also clarified that this is not a new policy, but a reinforcement of an existing regulation, that's existing regulations it has been on. And I'm wondering why Frank is actually laughing concerning this one. Do you think this is, although they said when it has to be JAM, they actually allowed it for this year, but from the next time, parents should know that if the students are below 18, they will not be allowed. Yes, I would like to bring you in on this one, Frank, because I'm eager to find out what you're like.
Sometimes it's laughable the way we go about our implementation of laws in Nigeria.
Okay.
See, I have a copy of a policy of education in my house based on the program I did some years back. We always pretend as if we don't have laws guiding our policies and programs in this part of the world. We have laws, but the human elements, the human factor. For instance, the issue of 634, is it working?
The issue of what?
634 system. It's not working. So ordinarily, we don't need to tell anybody. The laws are there, he also revealed that it's not a new development. It has been, but the enforcement is always a failure in terms of implementing it, because the human elements involved, both the parents, even the minister himself. Let me say it. When his son or his daughter, maybe is overage, not to write WAEC, will the principal of a school stand to tell you, sir, your son is overage? They would know him or her.
No, he would know now.
Yeah, I'm saying now.
He would know. He would not need the principal to tell him. And we cannot see that and conclude and say, we cannot conclude and say that his child would go in.
I am not saying, I am giving as an illustration. For instance, if governor comes to a school, he has a son in a school, or I want to enroll my son in a WAEC. My son has gone above 18 years, and I'm the governor. I went to the school principal. Please enroll my son. You think the people will have the effrontery to challenge me?
Below 18.
I mean above 18. This law is that those above 18 should not write WAEC.
No, those below 18
should not write WAEC.
Yes, please.
So if my son, by virtue of his acumen, is in SS3 and is below 18, you now deny him to write the exam?
Yes.
See, we are making things difficult for Nigerians.
Where do you stand, Frank? Are you
where
saying
I stand
it is or it isn't?
This law should not be for those who are in school.
Who should it be for?
People are already in school.
Okay, it shouldn't be for those who are already in school. So who should it be for then?
It should be for those who are not in school.
But you already stated that we have a problem with implementation.
That's what I'm saying.
And now they are trying to implement it, and you still have a problem with that.
Get my point. Let me clarify it very well. Somebody is already in secondary school. Maybe he's a student. I'm not saying what we call candidate coming to
external candidates.
External candidate. He's in school, and by virtue of free education, he could not maybe some years ago to be in school, and now he's in school attending about maybe 18 years or below 18 years in school to write a WAEC. I don't think it's proper for government to deny a child who is below 18 years, maybe 17 years, not to write.
You're talking about the students. You're talking about the students who are already in
school
in SS3.
That is it. You should be allowed to write.
All right.
Because the implementation of our laws is also what is making us not to be able to put our laws in order.
All right.
It's the issue of JAM. JAM is even for adults also. But because of the process involved, today some of us will take our child who is 5 years 4 years to be in primary 1. All these things are in place. I said by 6 years you will start primary 1. These laws have been before I was born.
All right.
But we don't implement it.
Okay. All right. Dandy.
Okay. Even before these things are, like the minister said, they are there in the education law. First, I grew up meeting the 6-3-3-4 education system, and that has to do with a situation where you move from primary 1 to 6, from 6 to JS1 to 3, and then 3. Then recently, or not even very recent, along 2010 or thereabouts, we now shifted from the 6-3-3-4 system to the 9-3-4 system.
It's the same thing 2/8.
And that's where the universal basic education came in.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And when you talk about this, and before now, when you want to go to, before they can admit you into primary 1, they allow you to check if your hand can cross. And these
It's a very long
yeah,
time
these
ago.
things have been there. But then the scenario should be, what were the outputs? What were the level of educational advancement, achievement we got from that pattern? And where is the world today? If you're even talking about globally, Nigeria is not rated among the best educational country. Now, when you talk about countries like UK, USA, France, Australia, Canada, and then you talk about even Finland. It was even Finland who started with this issue of daycare, and then Nigeria bought into it. So I also do not think this should be part of the Minister of Education's achievement. So what have I achieved? I've been able to stabilize the age limit. Considering the fact that things are changing, those days, in fact, when some of us started growing up, I could remember vividly, it took me years in school before I could even start reading. But right now, go to children in primary school, some in daycare, can't even read very well. So do we stop these people and wait for those who have not been able to meet up just because of their age? So these things, there are other things we should pay more attention to. This is a computer age. And to be sincere, there are things you bring in your phone, you can't operate it. Give it to a child in primary school, you'll be surprised what they will operate with that. When you ask yourself, this thing has been on my phone. So should we start, or should we stop these children? Should we say because you are very proactive, or because your brain is reading and all that, so we should stop you? We are trying to stop the people because of age. But when it comes to marriage in the northern region, we allow a child of 13 years to get married. Now in education sector, we will not allow a child of 13 years to be able to sit for higher exam. But when it comes to marriage, you are qualified. When it comes to education, you are not qualified.
That is their culture.
Now that's culture.
It's public. It's not public.
And now you're saying that culture. The same child should not go through education. Why not we go back to, please, before any child should get married. In fact, even in Nigeria, it's at 18 years they begin to see you as an adult.
Yeah. Of course.
But these days, you see 16 years child getting married. Without education, are you stopping them? But the fact remains, many of the 16 years child, their education level of the understanding is so high that we shouldn't even stop them. That's the point. So coming back to this sector, are you taking us back to what we passed through in education? How better can we say our parents were compared to what we have in our children now?
He has said that if we follow the system that is already on ground, that means the child should be, there are certain ages that the child will be in a particular class if you follow the right system.
That's true. But what I'm saying is that we shouldn't also follow. We should advance on the system. We shouldn't follow what's on ground. We should advance on it. We should try to make it, beautify it. and not going back to the archaic nature of doing things.
All right.
He said not below
Yes.
18 years.
Yes.
So, how long? Even jam, now we are talking of, if you must write jam, you must be what? 18 years. That's what they are proper.
Yes, that's what he's saying.
I mean, yes, and you are saying not below. So, the process that will lead you to 18 years, where will you get? Is it outside the school? One has to be in school.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you take down, like when I said, 6 years, you start primary school. 6 years is it's not 12 years.
All right.
Now 6 years plus another 6 years. How? It's still 18.
Let's look at the next story now. We're definitely going to take reactions from Nigerians concerning that story, because whenever policies are made or trying to be implemented, we'll get the feedback